36 Seconds is a series produced by Black Heart Association based on the fact that every 36 seconds someone dies from heart disease. This series aims to highlight the devastating effects heart disease and stroke have on the Black family. Listen in to these stories of love, loss, and survival.
My name's Erica Tyler, Willie's daughter. I do have a brother and a sister. I'm the oldest, so I'm everybody's favorite.
I'm Willie Tyler. I'm their mother, unfortunately, and I've had a pretty crazy up and down life.
Well, my heart journey, or 36 second, is my mother, because she's the one with the issue. But sometimes, even though she has it, we all have to experience the different things about it. But it's mainly, her. She has, she had congestive heart failure? It ended up leading to a transplant. So she's currently 6 months into post-transplant. How we found out she had a heart issue. We first found out she wasn't feeling well one day. She was at work. She used to work for TCU, housekeeping supervisor. And she just told us she couldn't catch her breath good. So prior to that, I guess they keep diagnosing it like bronchitis. I guess they never looked into the seriousness of what was going on. So, she had like the asthma pump and everything. But this time, she went to her doctor's office and they told her to go to the emergency room because they think it's a little bit more serious. So she goes back to work, and the hospital's calling me like, well, is your mother there? She's supposed to be checking in. And we're just like, for what? Like, we didn't know what was going on. So we finally contact her, and she's on her way to the hospital. So, they run a series of tests, and we just, we didn't just rush up there because we were like, oh, it's bronchitis, because it's bronchitis. So eventually, running the test, they found out that it was her heart. And so from that point, they immediately said she needed a transplant right then, or she needed a surgery because she had a heart valve that was leaking. From that point, when somebody says you got to have a heart surgery or transplant or any type of surgery with your heart, it's like, what? 2 days ago she was fine, just a little cough or something, and today it's like in the blink of an eye, you're talking about heart surgery. I don't think any of us knew anything about heart disease, heart transplant, heart surgery. You just unfortunately hear people pass away of a heart attack. So I don't know, we just kind of was in a blank, just didn't really know which direction to go until you got all these doctors talking to you in language you don't understand, and you have to kind of be like, there's too much coming at me, can you stop and break this down in layman's terms, because I need a child's version, not the experienced doctor version. So that's when we kind of went from that point to start seeing all these different doctors.
I found out I had a heart disease, I guess in 2006, when I went to the doctor. Like I said, I thought it was just bronchitis again, since I had gone to the hospital before for bronchitis. And my primary care doctor, when I went to see him, he just listened to my heart. He said, go straight to the hospital. Of course, I didn't listen, I didn't go. I went back to work, hid my purse, talked for a while, and then I left. When I got there, usually to go into the hospital, they check you in. I went immediately back to the emergency room. And from that point, they told me that my heart failure, I had congested heart failure, and my heart was only pumping so much. So I thought I was gonna get to come home. Instead, I ended up staying because Dr. VJ, that's what we call him, told me they were gonna give me a defibrillator. So in 2006 is when I got my first defibrillator. My feelings was just shortness of breath. We have a ramp that we go down and then go back up to go to the restroom in the building. I went down the ramp good, went to the restroom, and when I got ready to come out, I had to hold on to the wall. I just could not catch a breath. And it felt like I wanted to slide down the wall, so I kind of just like leaned on the wall and went all the way down back to the office. And when I got in there, I told Leela, who was my supervisor at that time, that I can't breathe. I can't catch a breath. And my heart was racing. And I said, I need to go to the doctor. So I called my doctor and he said, come on in. And I did. It was like right across the street from where I worked. I was responsible for driving myself. They did not call an ambulance. He said, go immediately to the hospital because I was able to get around. I was just couldn't breathe real good. So I had to go back to the building to get my purse because all I went over there was just with me. I didn't take any ID because they knew who I was and I just didn't do anything. So my supervisor picked me back up and I went back over there. Instead of getting in the car, I just stayed around and talked for a while, and then they drove me to my car. And I got in and I went there, and they standing outside looking for me. He didn't make it sound like it was really bad. He just told me I needed to go to the hospital. And I'm a stubborn person. I don't listen. So I just went on back to work, and I just sat there for a while, not thinking they actually waiting for me to pull up. And when I did, they asked, where were you? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. And I just said, oh, well, I just went back to work. So that was it.
Sitting at work, then you get a call like your mother's supposed to be in the emergency room. She hasn't made it yet. So we're thinking like, how do you not make it to the emergency room? Like, did she have an accident? Did the ambulance take her somewhere else? Like, we don't even know because we didn't even know she was having this problem, So we're just all, I'm calling my sister, we all confused. So when we finally get there, again, they're telling us she's having this heart problem. And I guess they did the little going through your groin test. And of course, she didn't have any blockages. It was just the mitral valve leaking. Again, I was like, well, what's that? So they pretty much show you a picture and so forth. So at that moment, because they felt that her heart wasn't strong enough to she wasn't strong enough to go through any big surgery, they had to give her this defibrillator to kind of help monitor her heart in case it slows down. I guess it'll shock her. At this time, the leak was still there. So we ended up seeing this doctor. She didn't really like him, but he's not even living anymore, but he was an older guy, and he basically was like, if I do the surgery right now, it's like a 20% chance of survival. You have to get stronger before we can go in and repair the valve. So from that point, it's just medication. The defibrillator, that's when she started seeing a cardiologist outside of the surgeon. So he's been on top of it, medication, making sure she's trying to walk, exercise. But I mean, at that point, like you said, people don't take it serious because we just know she has this, but I mean, she seemed to be fine now. So, she's out and about, you start eating right. We start changing some things, and then we back at the wrong stuff, high grease, watch your cholesterol, low fat, low salt, high salt stuff, we eating these Lisa's chicken, whatever. But then it came back to revisiting this surgery. But at this point, he said it was always, 50-50, just whatever. But she was stronger at that point, her body in general. So, it's always a scary moment. I can't remember the exact year, but she went and had the surgery. You come out of surgery and you just see somebody and you got this tube, this tube, this tube, this tube. It's just like, she gonna make it? Like, because you can't, she just knocked out, so you always like, okay, this time we're gonna do better. We gotta eat better, change up some stuff, stop eating fried foods. 2008, they did a repair of the valve. So from that point, it was still an open heart because they had to cut you open, pull that rib cage open and do that. And she still had the defibrillator along with the repair because the defibrillator stayed on still this whole time. So after that, she had rehab, the cardiac rehab. which she goes to now, but she goes there, and from that point, she got stronger. We're thinking it's okay.
My thoughts about having the surgery, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do it. I was feeling good. Once I got the defibrillator, I went on my normal life, went back to work within the 6 weeks. When I did a little shooting pool and a little dancing, felt good. And then when he told me that I still needed the surgery, it was kind of a downer because I had to think about it, but I knew I needed it. So I just agreed to have it.
Do we ever have thoughts of death during this process? Of course. I mean, soon the very first moment they said she had heart failure, not knowing the congenital heart failure was just you had too much fluid around your heart. They didn't really explain that. They were just like, you got heart failure, and you hear those two words, you thinking, so it's gonna stop, because you don't know. Nobody tells you, well, we gotta get some of this fluid from around the heart, or that can be done with, some diet and exercise and, different things. They just like, she has heart failure. So, you're thinking, so do I Google heart failure? Like, what am I supposed to do? Google will have you thinking something different when I'm gonna need for you guys to break it down some more. So, like I said, when she got the repair done, the heart valve repair, we thought everything was going fine. The doctor monitor. I mean, from that point, she had 2 knee surgeries, a surgery on her toe. She's fine. I can say that her cardiologist at the time, if she wasn't having the surgery in a major hospital or not an outpatient, she can't have, no. He's stamping no. Are they gonna have this? Is this person gonna be there? I'm on call. He was making sure, no cut, no nothing until I approve of it. He made sure she stayed active. That's why she said she danced a lot, little line dancing, go out with her friends, to try to keep normalcy, to try to get the heart stronger. But fortunately, it started back deteriorating because now the leak comes back. And it's talk of, we have to go replace the heart valve. So she's snapped open again. And, she's had battery changes. I think they changed the defibrillator out to another model to getting a whole new valve. I'm not sure what year that one
17.
was. 2017. You get a heart valve replacement. So, it's like, again, because, me just having 2 C-sections, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm about to fall out. So I can imagine going through the scar tissue a second time in your chest. That's hard on a person.
How I'm processing it, I'm just going on. I don't think about death or anything. Sometimes I might get depressed and say, man, if I just go on and let it go, it'll get pressure off of my kids. But I never really thought about it or felt like it. I just get up and, you always say you thank God when you wake up in the morning, you thank God when you go to sleep. I get up in the morning and say, thank you for waking me up, and boom, I'm out there again, just rolling on. Never stopped working, just kept right on going. And then I retired in 2017 because I knew I needed this other surgery. And I said I didn't want to take off another 6 to 8 weeks because it just seemed like every time I leave, and come back. They did not want me to leave. They wanted me to stay on work and come on back after the surgery. We got you. And I said, nope, I'm retiring this year and this is it. So I retired in January of 2017. And
we were nervous about it, but I was, because now the other one was like, well, I don't know about her chances, but this guy, he was like, oh, I got this. Baby, God must like you because you've been through this, and this. He said, I can do it. I know I can do it. He was confident, like, I got it. I'm going to do it, and she's going to be fine. So, we're thinking, okay, I'm okay with it. And so he got it done, and he was like, she came right through it, no problem. Back in rehab again. So I think she stayed in a rehab facility for a little bit this time, and then rolled into the cardiac rehab. They know up there. It's like, you back again. So she was back again, and again, here we go, the same road. I'm like, sit down, be still, don't go anywhere. But then you have to let her move.
Honey, please.
You have to let her move out and move and do things. So
It changed me a little. I'm not gonna say it all the way changed me. I just never stopped going. I wasn't the type. I'm not the type, and I probably never will be the type to just sit at home and twiddle my thumbs. I'm just not that type. Once my 6 weeks was up and I was able to get around and do things, I'm back out there with my friends, playing cards, doing things, drinking. No, I didn't. I had stopped that almost anyway back in 2000 because I joined a social and charity club, and I just didn't drink like I used to when I shot pool. So it just changed that part of me, and they were there with me, and if I cough, are you okay? Oh Lord, they like mother hens. There's two of them in the club, just like mother hens. I can't do anything, or they won't even let me pick up a pencil, anything. But I told them, oh Lord, I'm not dying, I'm okay. Let me go. So yeah, it changed a little, but not that much.
From 2017, just with, again, medications, doctor's visit, trying to keep her active. Because the more you're active, they say your heart is to get stronger with pumping. Our pumping function started back deteriorating going into 2019. Well, probably before then, he had us visit a transplant doctor in Dallas somewhere. But he was like, she's fine right now because she's doing just fine. People couldn't understand from the beginning to even up to the transplant moment, why she was doing so much, because they felt as bad as her heart was, how's she doing? Like, she's not in the hospital a lot, not a lot of hospital visits. They couldn't believe it. Her cardiologist that she had prior to the transplant, he said when he first saw her, people wouldn't even bet a nickel that she would still be alive 10, 15 years later from when she first saw him. He was like, nobody thought she would last that long. She's outlived half his patients that he's had. So, it's like, can nobody, nobody physically here can tell you how your life's gonna go. So, as it went further, she was just moving and grooving, retired, just hanging out, Then it gets to 19, and she's slowing down a little bit. They're telling her pumping function is starting to go, it's starting to get, maybe it's supposed to be, it was maybe at 20% at one point, then it was down to like 15, and it's steady going down. We started seeing a new doctor in Dallas, Dr. Bencher, who she sees now, and he's trying to change the medications, trying to figure out what to get. That's these medicines is high, so don't think that it's easy. The medicine gets expensive. These doctors' visits. COVID came. So unfortunately, she got COVID. Was it 2020? 2021. She got COVID. So she got COVID. And
January.
I'm like, I didn't get it, but I don't know how she got it, but she got it. She ended up in the hospital. They're calling me because she has a machine. She had a machine at the house, so it monitors her defibrillator. Where is she? It's about to go off. Like, where is she? What's going on? I'm like, she's at the hospital. She has COVID. Like, they can't monitor that from the hospital. Because I was always afraid, if you ever have a shock and they say it might throw you to the ground, like, girl, what am I supposed to do? So from COVID, it had her heart beating too faster than it could. Her heart was allowing it to. From that point, it just went down. So we went from January and having COVID to maybe April, she's getting what they call a milrinone drip. So she's walking with an IV with medication trying to keep this heart moving. Then we go back, they increase the dosage. Then we start these classes, like it's just coming like this, just coming. Like, okay, we got to prepare her for either this LVAD machine that we're going to put in to pump her heart for her, and they talking about it comes out of here and you have to wear this big battery pack thing, or just transplant. Like, if you can't, the transplant takes too long, you're going to have to eventually go to this. So it's so much coming, and I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed. She playing it cool, but I'm overwhelmed. And I just told her, at this point, it's your choice. You don't have to get cut again if you don't want to. Don't think that you have to get this surgery because you got kids and grandkids. It's not, we're going to be okay. But it's your choice, because I'm not going to make you get something. It's a third cut. Well, what I'm saying okay to is when it comes to the surgery, because every time we go, he asks, have you made up your mind? Do you need to think about it? It's like, we're going to get you on this list, Do you want the surgery? And, at first when somebody comes to like, you want heart surgery? You like, do you want a transplant? It can mess up your quality of life. We have to do this. You're going to be on this particular medication forever. It's like, you're getting all of this information so much. Now, they fully informed you on different things. I mean, you even had to go to class. But it's still a lot, because I can see you getting slower and you're getting slower. But do you want to go back through something major again? You're going to be in the hospital. I know it hurt. I know it got to hurt. I mean, I can't feel the pain, but I'm sure it hurts. And I know hear people, look at videos, and you may not want to do it, but you want to do it because you think you got to be here for other people, like you have to be. But I just want it to be her choice, not my sister's like, Mom, you need to get it. We don't want to lose you. It's selfish. I wanted you to stay, but I had to try to get myself out of the equation for her to have her sole decision, not based on what everybody else thinks. It has to be her decision, because she has to go through it. She has to have the mindset to push through it. We can't do that for her.
When I first found out that they wanted to put me on the list, I said, okay, I just wrote it off, because I knew you get on the list, it might be 2 to 3 years, so no big thing. He put me on the list at first, and then for some strange reason, my heart started pumping a little bit better. He took me back off the list. And the second time he put me on the list, I said, okay, I can't keep going off and on. I said, okay, if it comes through, fine. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. So I had to talk to my pastor. And he said, well, what do you want to do? I told him I really did not know what I wanted to do at that point. I didn't want to be a burden on anybody, because I didn't know if I got the transplant, if I'd be able to pick back up and start moving around. And I had always told the kids, if I get to the point that I can't do anything for myself, put me in a nursing home, and Lord have mercy. Every grandchild in the house, no, you can live with me. No, I'm going to a nursing home. I cannot live with you. So I went on and just went on with it. And it was just strange, because, you don't really think about it. And then they start running all these tests where they go through my neck to do a right heart thing. I got so tired of that. I think I had 2. And that second one, when I went, and they said, well, you're not going home. I said, well, what's wrong now? Oh, you're getting a heart tomorrow. And I went like, what? This was in July.
She got on a transplant list in April. She did say no to the LVAD machine, because she felt like because the battery packs are kind of heavy, and she was just like, I already have this drip in my arm, and I don't want this. I think it's like a tube come out your chest, something. She didn't want that. So she's like, I have to get that. I'm not getting it. So, So she was like, no. But she got on a list. So they have us repeat these tests every so many weeks to check the status of her heart. So it's like she got the right heart cath, she got the Milrinol drip. She got another one. She had to stay in the hospital for a couple of days. Then here we go again. She gets it, and they were like, we finna keep her in the hospital for a couple of days to see if her pressure's gonna drop, because her pumping function is getting worse. So she calls me, I'm leaving the hospital. It's like, this is August of 2021. I'm leaving the hospital from seeing her because it's in Dallas. It's like 11 o'clock. She was like, oh, they found me a heart. She calling me like all nonchalant, like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, get some food, I'm almost at the house. I'm getting something to eat. Oh, well, I guess you might have to come back, get my bag. They say they found me a heart. I'm like, huh? Because I guess TV gets us, and movies gets us, and we're thinking it's a long process. I guess it is for some people. You're on a list for a long time. And we were thinking, I don't know where we're getting it from. She's on close to the age where they don't want to do it anymore. She was, I think it was 73. She turned 73 after the fact, but I think 73, 74 was their limit when it comes to like Medicare insurance and everything. And, you think like they gonna give a heart, like why they want to give it to an older person versus a younger person that they feel have more life to live. So we were thinking, honestly, I was thinking it just wasn't gonna happen, but she called me. It's like, hey, I got a heart. And I'm like, huh? Like when people get pregnant, like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I got to get a bag. We got a checklist. We got a bag. I'm supposed to call these people. Like, I was nervous. Like, I didn't know what to do. But, she was like, well, they'll call and tell you later. So when I got home and, I was like, oh, let me sit down. Because, like, now let me get myself together. So what's the after effects I'm getting ready to be? So you get teamed with a transplant team, pre-transplant, post-transplant. They called and they walk you every step of the way, check on you, talk to you, whatever. Only bad thing is because of COVID. You really couldn't have her full support system there all at one time, like in the waiting room or whatever. It had to be one person at a time. You never know what to expect when people go into any type of surgery, just going under anesthesia. And so it took a little longer than what I expected, but I don't know. I just didn't really know what to feel while she was going through the process. So it happened on the 6th of August. I don't know. I was just sitting in there looking like, he's like, are you okay? I was like, I don't know. I'm okay. We'll see. And I don't know, I felt some lady was crying. I'm like, why are you crying? She's like, oh, my husband had a triple bypass. I'm like, oh, girl, he gonna be all right. Just once he get out, it's like, let me tell you, my mom been through more than what he just had. It's like, he's gonna be okay. You just make sure he eat right, y'all exercise, just make sure you got a good doctor. If you don't understand what they're saying, find you another doctor. If you don't understand, make them break it down to you. Just don't let them give him anything. You just make sure that why they're giving it to him. And they left the hospital a couple of days later. She was still there, but but otherwise, the after effects of the heart transplant were a little stressful for her, I'm sure, as myself, because I guess when they break your immune system down, and I guess if you don't know about your body, your heart's messed up, your kidneys can't function right, this doesn't function right. So she had to take dialysis a couple of times, which she never had kidney problems, but because of the heart not pumping right, I did not know that was really affecting this. So she was getting frustrated with the dialysis because she was ready to move out of intensive, I guess more like the intensive care unit, to more of a regular room. she finally she got to the regular room. They were amazed that she up trying to walk on the walker. I guess because they see some people just, just like, woe is me. And she just kind of never had the attitude about it.
Down. After coming out of the heart transplant, like Erica said, it took me a while to get up and move around. And then once I got up and started moving around, things just started going pretty good. Like I was really afraid I was gonna have to stay on dialysis, but once I got off, my kidney function went back up, and they said it's because of the new heart. Only thing happened, my body is still falling apart in some places. Like now, I'm a diabetic. Hopefully, I won't have to be on the insulin too much longer. They think some of the medication that I'm taking, once I'm off of it, it'll go back. So that's the only other problem. And that's it, I have to try to watch myself not catch a cold, but that's a normal thing. But other than that, I got out of the hospital and had a home care nurse to come by, and had a therapist to come by, and it drove me crazy. But I got up and started moving around. I was ready to do things. Of course, everything was shut down anyway, so Mother Hen over here wouldn't let me even go out the door. So I ended up just sitting at the house, and now I'm back in rehab, and they told me, hey, do your normal thing. So that's about it.
Girl, you gave me a lot of gray hairs.
You were gray at first.
You gave me probably some wrinkles, some mini heart attacks. But, for the most part, as long as she's fine, I'm okay. Right now, it's just, I think, like she said, she's, I guess you can say diabetic, but it's probably she had a high dose of steroids. And so coming off of them, it gives her like tremors, like these puffy jaws. It's all because of the medication. So it's just the point, I'm fine with it. It's like, what can you do? If it's not me, who else is gonna do it? People was like, make your brother and sister move back. Why? They she want them to live their life. I'm here. My kids help out some. The driving back and forth to Dallas, that was kind of crazy. But, now it's just keeping a log of, what your blood pressure is in the morning, afternoon, night, what's your sugar level, morning, noon, and night. So, I keep my log. We show up to the doctor, they check it. That she's progressing. She has a few more sessions for the cardiac rehab again. It's like, you been here, you coming back again? Like, you back again? Did you come here before? Because they had her going before the transplant to try to build up her strength, because he felt like people that's active have a better recovery rate versus people that get it that's been in the hospital 2-3 weeks or months at a time.
I didn't give her no gray hair. Them kids gave her the gray hair. But she's been there from day one, and I thank her for that. Sometimes I get depressed and want her to get out on her own or do something, and not always have to be with me, but I can't even make her go outdoors, so I guess she's fine with it. My other two, oh God, especially my youngest daughter, she's a nervous wreck. Every time she calls me, okay, why are you going doing this? Don't do that, blah, 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 blah. I go like, oh my God. So I have to calm her down. But other than that, I'm thankful for her. She's a mother hen, but I'm thankful for her. I wish she started back cooking more so I wouldn't have to. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah, she was getting spoiled because she couldn't get, you can't do a lot of lifting or bending until everything heals. But I was like, he said that you can start moving around now so you can fix little things, She don't do a lot, but, you can start doing stuff. Because it's now, I guess before what we knew it was getting bad, I had to get out of the mindset of her heart probably pumping better than yours right now, so she can do some things. But it's just, when we out public stores, we, keep your mask on right now because you have to keep your immune system suppressed. What have we learned since this? I haven't gotten my heart checked. I'm thinking about it because I want to know. Because I asked, was it genetic or, could I don't know. I just asked the questions and he was more or less, get your weight down, make better food choices, exercise.